Greetings from Seoul, Korea, and welcome to GSL Code S. Tastes and Artosis here, and I gotta say, my nerd brother,
yes,
we have a very interesting Final Four.
Oh my God, it is so exciting. You know, DRG, he's kind of been to some finals. You know, he's made it not exactly like a main GSL season yet, but the guy is ready. We have 3 new guys to the round of 4. One of which should have been here before, but just did not make it genius, and 2 up-and-coming Super Terrans. It's such an exciting day.
It's one of these situations where I really don't know. Beyond DRG, I guess, I have no idea what this finals should look like. I'm expecting DRG to win. He may very well lose. That's totally a realistic possibility.
Gumiho is goody-ho.
Yeah, the way he plays is turning out to actually be better than the way everybody else plays. I thought it was kind of a wonky style that would, only work for him and only get him to the round of 16. Then he get eliminated by somebody with a more refined style. Now, guys, come to the GSL finals. The GSL finals are by far, out of all the esports events that I get to go to, it's the most epic thing ever. It's the most well-produced.
It's so nice, man.
Yeah.
It is like, you go there and you're like, wow, esports is real.
Yeah, absolutely. Entry is free. Show up ahead of time so you can get a good seat. It fills up pretty quickly. And, of course, also go to our website and predict who you think is going to win in these matches. We use those polling results to kind of gauge where the fans, the viewers, because Artosis and me are sort of just supposed to be StarCraft experts, but where the viewers actually think the fans feel, who's going to win.
Yeah, it's really interesting to see because sometimes people hit it right on and sometimes it is so far off.
Yeah. Sometimes one guy gets 3% and still wins. Mm-hmm. So it's really something else. Artosis, it's getting warmer in Seoul.
It's so nice today, actually. I was walking around without a jacket on.
I actually overdressed. I'm just not used to the fact that the seasons are changing, so I have this giant Sherpa on as I walk to work. But we are going to be going to MLG.
That's right. In fact, we're going over to the airport after this.
Yes.
It is very exciting, man, to go to the Winter Arena.
Oh, I can't wait. Definitely check that out. We will be casting that.
Yeah, we'll post some links on Twitter and stuff like that if you're interested in going ahead and getting that Winter Arena ticket and watching us over there. But after that, we will be back, of course, for the GSL Finals, coming right back to Korea.
Yeah, we got a busy week, man.
We really do.
But it's a pretty sick week as well with these great players that we have here, and, of course, the great MLG event, and going right into the finals. Our player lineup: Alive against Genius, Gumiho against DRG. A pretty balanced makeup of races when you consider there's only 3 in StarCraft. 2 Terrans, Protoss, and a Zerg.
Can't hope for better in Korea, man.
This is the kind of Final Four that I love to cast because we have one of each race. And I feel it, to a degree, although it's slightly Terran heavy with Alive and Gumiho, I feel slightly, tell me if you agree with this because I love your opinion. Oh, actually, I'll do that in a second because we're going to go to today's matchup. All right, so introducing the players individually, as you can see here. Actually, okay, let me just get the question right away. You think the Protoss and Zergs outclass the Terrans here slightly?
No, I feel like it seems like they outclass Gumiho perhaps, but I think Alive is probably playing the best Terran in the world right now.
We already saw Alive. Here is Genius, champion of one of the BlizzCons, not the last one, but the one before. Gumiho, who's actually getting an extraordinary amount of cheers as he shows up on camera. The Tal Terran.
I think they're actually a little bit ahead of us, and it's
are they?
DRG that they're cheering for. He is one of the most famous players.
We're no longer entirely piggybacked on the Korean broadcast.
And DRG is actually, I think he's my pick for maybe the best player in the world right now overall.
He might very well
Everything about his play is so awesome.
His play style is so bulletproof. It's almost difficult to define.
Oh, I know, man. I shot his playstyle 3 times in the head, man, and it's still there and kicking.
I know.
Then it got up and
he's
beat
that special
ass.
kind of boss. You have to wait for that part where his chest opens up and it's orange. You got to shoot there. And
but DRG doesn't let that chest open up.
Yeah, he does. He's like, that's dumb. That's my heart. I'd let you shoot that. All right, so our first matchup, Alive and Genius.
Such an exciting matchup. One that I have no idea which way it's going to go. I could see it going either way. Genius has played some of the best PvTs that I have ever seen in this tournament, but Alive is on fire. He is looking so unstoppable as far as Terrans go.
Now, to some degree, I feel like Alive did TVT his way here.
He did.
And now he's got to TVP it. So the question is look, if he's as good Terran versus Terran as he is...
He's reminded me of Jockey the other season. Where he gets through on a matchup like Jockey got through on TVPs, and then he's like, no, I can win any matchup, then crushed in TVZ in the finals.
Yeah,
so.
We're going to have to see if Alive is that kind of player. Because right now, Genius is, to be totally frank, the Protoss that I've been studying the most and been the most inspired by as a Protoss player.
As of late, me too, Tasteless.
All right, head-to-head here. Alive against Genius. Our first game in the round of 4 here in the GSL Code S.
Entombed Valley.
You know what I love about this new thing we're doing here at the GSL is really get to identify the map, and not just from this top-bottom perspective. I mean, StarCraft is a 3D game.
That's true.
We really get to see kind of this universe that they're engaging each other in. All right. Our Terran player in the upper left. He Terran versus Terran his way here. Now he's going to have to win a TVP. He is...
Fnatic Alive.
Steady climb here. 7 wins and 3 losses in his last 10 games. A member of the Team Fnatic.
Great player, man. He's leveled up over the past month so much.
In the bottom left, we have our Protoss player. Unbelievably creative style. He is...
MVP Genius.
And here is Genius, also with 7 wins and 3 losses.
Huh? Pretty sick matchup then, I guess.
Now, let's take a moment here to talk about the way the Genius plays, because for me, and the way I view StarCraft, I really love it. No matter what you see in Genius's base, it's not going to be helpful.
Yeah, he knows every single mind game.
Yeah, he will cancel stuff, he will put things in weird positions, and that makes it incredibly difficult to play against him, because oftentimes the fact that you scouted Genius is why you lose.
Yeah.
Because he shows you something. Oh, so there's a Tasteosis sign.
Is there? What's
Nerds
it say?
still want to be best friends with us. Sick.
Oh, nice. We love Tasteosis. I love Tasteosis as well. It's important to love yourself.
You got to love yourself.
It is, man. It's an important
That's the
thing.
moral of the story.
All right, so, Genius has already scouted out exactly what Alive is doing, which is the very quick command center. He saw it and all. So he's going to feel very safe to go out and expand himself, but definitely getting that Stalker first, just in case. If they go for an eBay and you're trying to go Nexus first, you're in trouble, man.
Yeah, well said. That's just one way that if you plant that, it's game over. Mm-hmm. Your build's completely screwed. You got to become a Zerg player and make your Nexus somewhere else on the map. It's like, I don't want to play a game like this.
Well, Genius right now is continuing to chrono boost his probes as he goes after this SCV here. SCV thinks he can go behind those bushes. That doesn't help.
Doesn't help.
There's a probe.
Wow.
We have the same mind. All right,
you're an Archon.
Ooh, Alive actually going up to 4 barracks play.
Yep, no gas here.
Yeah, and this is just a powering build where he can go ahead and
he's going to do that push.
Yeah, he just gets a bunch of Marines. It's going to be very safe against any attacks Genius may do. If Genius got a little bit greedy, if he wasn't adding those 2 gates, maybe he can kill off a bunch of units. And in fact, if Genius miscontrols, Alive might be able to kill off a bunch of units. But of course, that is going to make his tech a little bit slower.
Now here comes the SCV. He sees the 3 gates. When you see 3 gates in this situation, would you still push with the Marines?
Absolutely. You never know exactly what they're going to make or how many. If there's too many sentries, maybe you can get up there and kill one.
Okay, so...
And by the way, I have a little prediction because Genius is opening very standard. This is a safe, great opening by him. But when he sees that it is a 4 barracks Marine push, I think what Genius is going to do, Tasteless, is very likely, and what he's done in the past quite often against builds similar to this, is tech up, grab Colossi, and then go for a death move, a killing blow, because his opponent is teching so slowly.
Yeah.
So if he does,
tier 1,
would not be surprised if he goes for something like a 3 to 4 Colossus attack off of 2 bases.
Now, note we had the graphic up here earlier, but it was 34 to 66%, with these 66 for Genius. And I guess I have to say I'm not surprised. Whether that be because everybody thinks Genius is better because he's the only Protoss?
Yeah. I don't know. Well, Genius has been around a long time. Probably still has some fans from the old days when he was a top Protoss, and he is back once again. By the way, Alive right now is going for another command center, and Genius is making an observer, and I really feel basically Genius is going to have two choices when he sees that. Is he going to go ahead and make another Nexus, because this is definitely a map that you can fast expand on twice against something like this, something a little bit greedy from our Terran player, or he's going to have to go for a Colossus kill timing, because this is super slow tech from his opponent, and that is something that actually, Alive has to have checked into the way Genius plays, and this is something Genius has used in the past recently, where he sees that, oh, your tech is really late, I can make a bunch of Colossi and go kill you. And I would not be surprised if we see him do that here when he really scouts out what's happening with that additional command center.
Here comes the Observer now. The Observer will see the 3 tech labs, and now sees the command center.
And he immediately throws down the robotics bay.
Yeah.
So it really is looking like he's probably going to go for that Colossus timing attack. And it is powerful, man. If he controls it just right, it's very difficult to stop, especially with such late tech. Well, that's the backbone of why he does it. This is actually going to tell us a lot about
we're about to
this
learn.
whole series, and a lot about this matchup as well. Yep, down and go the Forge. This is looking exactly like the previous builds that Genius has used. He's going to Chrono Boost out as many upgrades as he can get. He oftentimes moves out at 2-2. He might even take that third base, and there you go. The third base is going down. And this map, it's a little bit different from other maps where you can so easily take that third as a Protoss. You have those 2 ramps to try to hold on to everything on.
Well, you have to have more units there, and then also they could drop you still. You punish that way. So he'll be Chrono Boosting the upgrades here momentarily. Surprised he hasn't done. Okay, now he's doing it.
Both players just being greedy. Upgrades, quick third bases, teching as well. It's about as greedy as you can get as Protoss right now for Genius. He hasn't even made that many units yet, but he does have 4 sentries with a lot of energy, and that's really what's going to be important. He just has to use his force fields just right, and there's not going to be any way yet for Alive to kill him off.
All right, so this is going to be a very mineral-heavy build here from Alive. Very focused on Marines and kind of surrounding the other player with just this huge number of units. So Genius has to be careful in the middle of the map. Also, as you can see here, some stats on previous games against the opposing race. Nothing too spectacular coming from that.
Good ratings though.
Yeah,
I mean, that's solid. The more games you play, the harder it is to keep a big winning rate. So don't overestimate Alive because he has 10% more than Genius.
Now, one of the reasons why Genius wants to do this is because, as Artosis said, and I'm sort of echoing your point here, Artosis, he went for a lot of mineral units, Marauders and Marines. Marauders cost some gas, but it's like not a lot. So what does that mean? Well, of course, Colossus is good against that, yeah, but it also means that the starport is later.
Yeah.
So that means that the Terran is put in this kind of weird position. Do I get a lot of medevacs? Because I want to heal my units.
Yeah.
I don't have to be. Oh my God! Hold that thought. Oh, that was the one unlucky Marauder. So he's basically saying, I want to get medevacs, heal my units, and drop, but I have to get Vikings, right? If I don't have Vikings, the Colossi is too strong. So that's the position that Genius is putting Alive. We'll see how Alive reacts. And there's going to be a drop coming up here, and for some reason, a Colossus is the only thing that's there.
Colossus ain't afraid, tasteless. Well, right now we do have 2-2 on the way. He's stopped Colossus production, so this is definitely different from what we've seen Genius play before, even though it looked like a very similar opening. He is switching over, getting his Templar Archives up, getting his charge up, and adding a ton of gateways. And in fact, he stopped at 1 Colossus. So, and I think that's why that Colossus ran over there so quickly and why he poked out.
Oh my God, yeah, I see what you're saying.
He's trying to show enough Colossi, to show the Colossi enough, rather, to keep it in Alive's mind that Alive needs to go for Vikings. But actually, that's exactly what he doesn't need. He doesn't need even 1 Viking against a single Colossus build.
And because if let's say there's 4 Vikings out there, well, that's fine. The Colossus is going to die, but what are the Vikings going to do? Land and battle this army of charge lots? No way, dude.
Yeah, absolutely not. And in fact, he is producing 4 Vikings right now.
Here we go.
He's got to be careful with that, and he does decide to fly away. There was a High Templar on the ledge to help feedback as well. Now, this is working very well, Tasteless. This is what you were talking about earlier with how whatever you scout from Genius doesn't mean anything.
Yeah.
It has no real meaning. You really have to be on top of your scouting to know how to play against this guy. He has almost a completely charge lot army right now, and he is it's looking so nice for him with these 4 Vikings at a time being
nipped
produced.
in the butt. Oh, he just like falls apart. It's like the saddest way to die.
Is it? I think the saddest way to die is being drowned in puppy tears.
Oh, that could be. That could very well be Artosis.
It's hard to get that many puppy tears before they evaporate.
Yeah.
It's really difficult.
The only way to do it is show those puppies have Scooby-Doo be tortured.
My puppy would be happy. We hate Scooby-Doo. All right, so great upgrades right now for Genius. He is at 2-2 with 3-3 started. 1-1 for his opponent, but that +2 attack is on the way. He does have the double eBay, but he hasn't started the +2 armor, so that's actually going to be something that's a little bit scary. And this game is starting to look... Wait, 200 versus 200 record. This is when they max out. This is so interesting. What an interesting stat we have there.
Genius never loses when he's maxed out, and Alive hardly ever loses.
Yeah, that is amazing, and I'm not surprised because we've seen Genius play when he's maxed out. This guy is just amazing at it. He's amazing at it, and this game is starting to look like the game he had against his teammate SC on in the GSL earlier, Tasteless. And look at that, that's a lot of Vikings. He has 10 Vikings against a single
And those Vikings are completely not helpful against this one single Colossi. Nice, moving out.
Taking a page out of Parting's book here. Genius just moving forward with High Templars fearlessly.
All right, that Observer just barely out of scan range. Note how he's totally comfortable making those High Templars move out in front of the army. Oh, nice snipes.
Oh, yes, indeed. And oh, my God, we have no storms left. Great moves by Alive. And, in fact, he is in trouble now. Genius is, look at this, Alive just taking out all these units. And Genius has to be careful here. He needs a storm or two to really break through.
Losing the Archon here. He has not yet used Force Field, by the way.
Yeah, these units are staying just out of good Force Field range. And in fact, just trying to wait and get some of these cannons warped in. What great moves by both players. Genius with some great crisis management there. Not overcommitting at any point. Alive with beautiful snipes, taking out all the splash damage that Genius had available.
Well, you know, the beauty, one of the beautiful things in that situation was seeing the cannons warped in there from Genius. Those cannons finishing, it sort of forces the Terran to back off a little bit. How many medevacs does he have?
Oh, right now he has 4 medevacs, but 7 Vikings. And Genius is starting to make another Colossus. He may just make one to show it off again, or he may continue it. And in fact, he is making another one. I feel like right now he needs to be adding, though, more robos. He needs to be able to switch into Colossus more powerfully than one at a time.
Okay, this expansion's been spotted.
Interesting expand location, kind of a sneak one by Genius. And he will have to
my God, a lot more barracks being made over here. The Zealots moving in, feedbacking the medevacs.
Beautifully done. These units are very low in health, but they're going to take out a ton of probes here, and they are positioned in such a way that Zealots are not going to do a good job at all, really.
Yeah, taking cover behind the minerals. He takes out the rest of that army. I feel like these Vikings should be used to go harass somewhere. Well, I guess now not used like that because there's Colossi out here, but in that window of time when there wasn't anything, they could have been used in a different way.
Dude, look at the macro that we're seeing out of these players. I'm going to start counting barracks. I'll get back to you in about 5 minutes when I'm done.
All right, so he's moving out here. Templars heading forward. And that was a little bit of an overextension there. Oh, he could storm that. Nope, sniped the Templar.
Wow. A lot of ghosts out right now for Life. By the way, guys, the patch did hit on the Korean server today. So these, I mean, that doesn't change this matchup a lot, but I just want to throw that out there. I'm sure a lot of people are wondering. By the way, Tasteless, he has 21 barracks.
Oh my God.
And 6 of them have reactors. so he can actually build 27 Marines at a time. All right, anyways, here we go. A lot of Psystorms going off, and those Vikings so low on health. Looks like they will be all taken out.
Whoa, where did the Terran's army go now? The Zealots rushing forward. But is this going to be enough? The Protoss army isn't exactly unstoppable right now when you have 22 barracks.
Dude, 10 Marauders and 7 Marines being made right now, 4 medevacs at a time. The upgrades are out of control, but this is a huge Protoss army being warped in oh so quickly up the many, many gateways of genius.
All right, he's moving forward. Nope, there's another Colossi out now. The Protoss army spread out a little bit thin, but I don't feel like we're seeing enough Terran anything right now. The Templars there in the middle. The Sentry's doing a great job. Alive, unable to micro on multiple fronts here.
Yeah, Alive is dead. GG. Wow, genius with some amazing play, even though he was in a corner early on when he got his Templars sniped. He really did a great job.
That was pretty sick.
Yeah,
that was pretty impressive.
Yeah, it was pretty wild. Those were some great Psystorms. Just the fact that he just Psystormed everything.
Yeah.
Really Alive needed to get off more EMPs and or snipes, and it just did not happen.
You know,
Genius
was pretty impeccable that game.
He knows how to play max Protoss, okay? He gets a lot of gates. He throws down a lot of cannons. That's kind of what Parting's doing nowadays too. These really successful Protosses get pylons up all over the place in the front. Cannons there to slow down stuff. Just tons of Psystorms everywhere. That's really the key at the moment.
I was also incredibly impressed with just how good Alive was in the late game. 22 barracks, man.
Yeah. No, his macro is off the hook. In fact, Genius had a ton of gates as well. Not as many, of course. Protoss units are a bit more expensive. But he had, I did count, it was like 15 or so, or just slightly under that. It was a lot.
14, something like that.
Maybe 14. Yeah, that's just under 15.
Yeah.
Well, the next map is, in fact, going to be Metropolis.
Metropolis. I'm just trying to think.
Metropolis.
Yes. Not Metalopolis?
No.
No, I think I have no idea how the game will look on that map. You know, I think it should be a longer game, like this game was. It doesn't seem like so far, and obviously we can't assert much because it's only been one game, that they can really kill each other off early on.
Well, I mean, we'll have to see how this goes. We've seen a lot of Nexus first play on this map. We've seen a lot of quick 3 Nexus play on this map. I wonder how Alive will play it. I really liked how Gumiho played it, if you recall. The fast expansion of Cloak Banshee and using siege tanks on the high ground to hold off anything. Beautiful opening.
Turtling and hardcore and
my favorite TVP opening on this map by far is Gumiho's style. Will Alive take a page out of that book? Or will he play it?
I feel like Alive and Gumiho are completely different in the way they play the game.
Oh, you're completely right on that, Tasteless.
It's TVP right now. Alive against Genius. I think that neither player can have a sigh of relief. You know, obviously Genius can have a sigh of relief from that first game. That was a hard game.
Oh, absolutely.
He had to do some pretty intense tech switches. And guys, if you rewatch that game, really note how he made Colossi, showed it, or in this case made a Colossus, showed it. And that's what triggered
that was
Alive
a big part of
to make all these Vikings that then were not that useful.
Those Vikings were completely useless, in fact. And let's not forget that was the engagement that Genius almost died on. If all those Vikings had been additional, let's say, Marauders, Alive probably wins the game right there.
Yeah,
Genius
exactly.
Barely held on.
Yeah.
Barely. Great tricks.
Okay, game number 2, Alive against Genius. Here, the GSL Codes semifinals. This is basically a shot of Soul.
Oh, that's my apartment.
That's my apartment. It's up there, the upper right.
When they swept over with the helicopter.